At least 29 Republican women will serve in the next Congress, with several more still possible as the votes are counted. We're joined now by Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, author of the new book, The Mind of a Conservative Woman. Thanks so much for joining us, Senator.
Thank you, Lindsay.
So let's start with the presidential race. The president came before cameras this evening and made some baseless accusations of voter fraud and claims that the election is being stolen. I spoke last night with your Republican colleague, Congressman Adam Kinzinger, who questioned the president's claims since Election Day. And after the president spoke tonight, he tweeted this: "We want every vote counted. Yes, every legal vote, of course. But if you have legit concerns about fraud, present evidence and take it to court. Stop spreading debunked misinformation. This is getting insane." Debunked misinformation, he said. So do you support the president's claims, and is it the appropriate, would you say that it's appropriate for the president to make these kinds of accusations and cast doubt on the vote count without providing any evidence of wrongdoing?
Lindsay, I'm one of those citizens that served on a local election commission. I did that before I was in elected office. And I can tell you from my experience that people want to be able to trust the system. They want to make certain there's integrity in the system. Vote counting needs to be done in a very transparent fashion. If there are instances where there have been irregularities, those need to be documented. I heard someone earlier today saying that they had tried to vote in person. These individuals need to come forward and tell their story and seek that recourse. I think it's important to realize that elections are not run at the federal level. They are run at the local level. And it is your neighbors and friends that go in there and work the polls. And we have to make certain that every legal vote is counted.
And as you would know, you said you've had the experience yourself, public officials in these states run by both Democrats and Republicans, they say that they're working around the clock to ensure that each and every legal cast vote is counted. And much of this count is being done transparently with bipartisan monitors and even live streaming video for the public to watch. Is there any basis, would you say, to doubt the integrity of this counting process?
What I think is that if there are irregularities, let's document them. With every vote counted, every legal vote counted, and the process going through, I fully believe that President Trump has a path to victory and that President Trump will win. And we will see what the rest of the vote counting in the states that are still outstanding, what that holds. I fully believe in the campaign and the work that the president has done in the previous 4 years, and of course the work that we have done in the U.S. Senate, because we have worked diligently to make certain that we were addressing the needs of the American people, of COVID, fulfilling the obligation we have with the federal bench. So I think the president, if every legal vote is counted, the process is followed, transparency is provided, I think that the president will end up winning.
So if that is your belief, then why would you, I'm just going to ask you to give a hypothesis at this point, why would the president create this kind of confusion? And do you think that it's possible that he's doing it to try to sow doubt in the election in the event that he loses?
I'm not going to try to speak on behalf of the president. That would be completely inappropriate. And, you know, I thought we were going to talk about some of these great conservative women who won these races and did so in a wonderful fashion, and looked forward to talking with you about that, because I do think that it tells much of the story that you were just talking about. There wasn't a blue wave, and you have these wonderful conservative women who are going to be coming to the U.S. House. And I do think that Congresswoman Spanberger today on the Democrat call summed it up very well as to the reason why they underperformed in some of those House races.
Yes, and that is the plan. My next question actually is about this new class of women. But of course, I mean, many Americans just heard the president come out, so I felt like we did need to get you on record responding, of course, to these claims that the president was making. And I think that was a fair line of questioning. I would not be doing my job as a journalist if I did not ask those questions. But do want to mention again, as you were talking about that growing class of Republican women who will join you in the new Congress, Democrats have had greater numbers of women in Congress than your party for years. So what did your party do right this year to bring more conservative women to Congress? And what do you think still needs to be done in order to improve gender diversity of your party?
One of the things I think is so very important is to have that diversity of viewpoint. And the things that these women did right this cycle is that they talked about the issues that are important to women. They talked a lot about safe communities and economic security and school choice. And they spoke out against the movement of defund the police, the push of progressivism and socialism. Every woman that I know wants the very best for her children. They want the best for everyone's children. They want opportunity and doors that are going to be open for these children. And I think these candidates that won, Allison Henson and Nancy Mace and Stephanie Bice, all these women represented what most women are looking for. Most women are not to the edge, the left edge, as the House has tilted this year. And you see that in the election results. Most women are more solidly toward the middle, whether they have, whether they're voting for Democrats or Republicans. So I do think it was the message that these women carried forward in their campaigns. People listened, they heard these candidates, and it is going to serve the House well. Now, yes, indeed, we do need to recruit more women, both in the Senate and the House, and I hope the energy that these new candidates, new members of the House brought to these races will carry over, and that we will see even more women step up and run in 2022.
And just a last question for you. With the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, just curious if you think that if Roe v. Wade is overturned, would that help or hurt attracting more women to the party?
When you talk with people as they go through their confirmation, I don't think you're going to see a push to overturn Roe v. Wade. I do think what came to light in the hearings, Lindsay, was people realized that some of our colleagues on the left chose intellectual isolation as opposed to choosing viewpoint diversity and getting to know Judge Barrett. And diversity can be a strength. And I think that it would be a welcome point of view if some of them would sit down and have a conversation with some of us who are on the right that maybe have a different viewpoint. And we could all learn from that. This nation and our freedom has been well served by robust, respectful, bipartisan debate. And I've got to tell you, I think a lot of Americans would like to see us return to that.
Senator Blackburn, we thank you so much for your time. And a reminder again for our viewers, The Mind of a Conservative Woman is available now wherever books are sold.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.